welcome back to another episode here. The 2024 MLB Trade Deadline has come and gone, and it was incredible. It was a doozy. It kept everybody on the heels of their feet. They kept everyone on the balls of their toes. It was one to remember here. We got a bunch of that stuff that we're going to be discussing here. We have Alex as always. We have Mr. Josh Higgins, the Yinzer there in Pittsburgh. Alex is always from the Hayes Studios in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, and
Sir.
yours truly, Nate here from our nation's capital. So I've talked to these guys before, and like I said, I have a bunch of stuff we want to discuss. It's been about roughly a week and a half, 2 weeks since our last episode here. We're going to get into the trade deadline stuff. I had basically written down all the big ones, or really the ones that I've cared about. Couple things that I wanted to discuss. I wanted to get some of your guys' thoughts on. I think the initial thing that we need to discuss is, and pray for, if whoever has any type of God out there is praying that Nick Castellanos never hits a home run ever again in his entire career. For the sake of humanity and for the sake of this country, we are praying he does not hit another home run.
Yeah, I remember I texted you that the last couple of weeks, the last two, obviously the Trump shooting and then this most recent one. So funny. It's almost like clockwork. Like you can almost. I bet I saw somewhere that it was like the most bet thing on like MGM or whatever that day for baseball, and they had to like cap it, so you could only bet like I think max of like $1,200.
Yeah, they did cap it.
Yeah, insane. It's easy money. Next time he hits one, check your local Twitter feed because I'm sure somebody died.
Check your local news. Check in on your family members. If you're not familiar with the Nick Castellanos in tragic events, home run hitting that he has, basically anytime Nick Castellanos has hit a home run, something tragic has happened. Somebody has died. Some type of major event has happened. Some examples include obviously his first. What led this was his home run with the Reds announcer making the homophobic slur on the airwaves, and then some other ones. He hits a home run. It was like 10 minutes after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. There's a
He hit
a home
league
run
home
like
run.
minutes after the Trump assassination, or the Trump attempted assassination. Yeah.
Hit a minor league home run on the same day that it was announced that Osama bin Laden had been killed.
Yes, I did see
That's
that
a
one.
fun
Yes.
fact.
There's just a bunch of events that have happened around Nick Castellanos home runs. So for all of humanity, we're hoping he's got 14 this year, 14 or 15 this year. We're hoping that he doesn't hit one. He can just hit triples to the wall or doubles to the wall every time. We're hoping he doesn't hit another one.
I mean, one of the crazy ones was when Biden there was rumors of him pulling out.
Right.
Ryan robbed a home run because it wasn't official yet. And then as soon as he made it official, then Castellanos, of course, hit that home run. So, I mean, it's like clockwork.
Yeah, I think either he knows something and decides when he wants to get the bat heated up, or it's just a major coincidence. I think at this point there's way too many coincidences, and I think that we need to be betting anytime something happens. We need to be betting Nick Castellanos home runs. Other things I got written down here. I went to a Nationals game 2 Saturdays ago, got a Mackenzie Gore bobblehead. Mackenzie Gore was pitching that day as well, and he got absolutely destroyed. 50 pitches in the first inning. It was disgusting. He's been on, like, his last 6 games have been atrocious. He had a better game yesterday, but got 0 run support from the Nationals. He still took the loss, but I think only gave up 3 runs over 6 innings. Pitched a little bit better, but he's just getting creamed. It's really sad. He's my favorite Nats player. The bobblehead is really cool. I put it up on our Twitter page here, but unfortunately, he's still getting smoked. We are going to be boots on the ground this weekend for the Nats Brewers series. We're going Saturday and Sunday with my dad's coming into town, so it should be a good series there. There's a bunch of series this weekend for some teams in first place to really pull away. That includes the Milwaukee Brewers. You've got 3 with the Nats here. That includes the Minnesota Twins, not in first place, but definitely in that wild card mix against the Chicago White Sox. The Mets have the Angels. The Dodgers have the A's. The Padres, again in that wild card mix, have the Rockies. The Phillies, best record in the National League, have the Mariners, who have been playing pretty bad ball as of late. Yankees, the Blue Jays cannot figure anything out. So this weekend could see some pull away, especially from some of those wild card teams. Other things that I got on here before we jump into the trade deadline stuff. So you know how Barstool does, they have like their interns or whoever go around and ask people random sports questions, and all these bloggers who are not like huge sports people have no idea what the answers are. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So this was maybe a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago. They went around and were asking guys, "Hey, what are some nicknames for Babe Ruth?" And literally none of these people, other than the Great Bambino, none of these people had any other ideas what the nicknames were for Babe Ruth. So I'd like to give this podcast an opportunity to defend itself. And Alex, I'd like to ask you first. What is another, before looking it up? I can see where I can see what you're searching. Your glasses there.
I'm not looking away.
Okay.
I'm looking away.
Before you look it up, I'd like to know another nickname for Babe Ruth other than the Great Bambino. There's a couple. Not a great start.
Nope, not a great start. I'm trying to think of the one from Sandlot, and I can't, or just
Sandlot. The famous Sandlot scene.
Yeah, I know.
Famous Sandlot scene.
I'm more than aware.
Bambi, that wimpy deer.
Fuck. Pass.
We're going to Mr. Higgins. And
dude, the Sultan of SWAT.
The Sultan of SWAT.
Probably the best.
That's the only other one I know. That's the only other one I know.
Sultan of SWAT. That's a great one.
You can tell me any others, and I won't know.
The Colossus of Clout.
Yeah. Nope.
The King of Crash.
At what point do we have to start having the conversation that too many nicknames is a bad thing? Like,
yeah, I don't know what
I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't know what any of those mean, but I know they're badass nicknames. And I that Barstool video was hilarious because
I was 100% looking it up. I'm a fraud. Not a Yankees fan.
He's not a Yankees
from the 20s. I do not care. He's the Bambino, and that's it. Sorry.
It was so funny because the only person that like knew any of them was Clemmer, and
that makes sense.
Yeah, and it was everyone
else. Although to be fair, they should know more because there's like 7 Yankees fans in that
literally
office, so
and they were in New York for 15 years. So.
I will say though that the people in New York still are like, I feel like the fake like Homer fans where they only pay attention when they win. Like I bet everybody in Chicago could name at least 3.
It's like literally. Fat Ev, where he's like an Ohio State fucking New York Yankee Boston Celtics fan. He fucking loser. Anyways,
so Fat Ev actually. Fat Ev was in he went to Ohio State and he's good friends with my buddy Anthony. So Anthony Rotz, if you're listening to this podcast, shout out to you.
Fraud. Anyways, I'm a fraud.
Well, we won't hold that against you. There's a lot of people that are paid bloggers that didn't know that. So we won't hold that against you. Now you know.
I'll learn them if I start getting paid for this.
Like to give a softball update here. Again, we're doing this week by week. Last night, softball game canceled because the organizers are complete frauds. It was raining at 4. Our game was at 8:50. Complete frauds. Canceled again. Whatever. Last week, though, we won. We're now 2-1 on the year. Winning record. I think that's the only time we've had a winning record this entire podcast. Last game, I went 1 for 3. First one, the guy with the wooden bat had COVID. Okay, so the wooden bat wasn't there. It's metal bats. The metal bat that I used the first time, I was so light. I literally popped it out to like the third baseman or the shortstop. Second time up, inside the park home run.
Nice.
Third time up, literally hit. Its ball had to be going 85 miles an hour, literally right at the third baseman. He put his hand up just in front of his face.
Oh, look what I found.
Literally, just Olay. But I pinch ran for a kid that is on a little bit of an injury bug. I scored 4 times. And we won, I think it was like 12-10 or something like that. So
in your league, are you out if you do not slide at foreplay? So for example, play at home, tag play, do you have to slide?
So the play at home is not the play at home. There is no tag. It's all you have to do is they have to catch if you're running home.
Interesting.
And the ball gets because they want to avoid collisions because most of the time.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, most of the time in those softball leagues, you put your weakest player at catcher, right?
Yeah,
most of the time,
100%.
Most of the time, the girls there, and they don't want any of those collisions. But you can slide at any. You can slide at any bag. I don't think you're out.
Yeah. I've played before where if you don't slide, you're out.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
But yeah, so again, the season now been extended a full month because this is our 3rd rain out. So we're going to probably be going up until Labor Day. So that's our softball update there. I'd like to discuss the White Sox and their miserable season that is that's still ongoing. They've won a total of 5 series all year. I think they have one sweep. They're now 50 whatever games below 500, 55 or something like that. 17 game losing streak. They are heading towards the 1961 Mets with a 23 game losing streak. So that could be as of, around this time next week that they could break it. So just got swept by the Royals in Chicago. They're going to play the Twins in Minnesota, and that is a team that cannot stop trucking. So they are well on their way to be.
Other than just like bad organizational management, I don't really understand why they're as bad as they have been. Like when you look at paper from what their like 2021 team or whatever, they were stacked with talent and have just been booty hole for like 3 years.
One of the craziest stats I think I've ever heard in baseball was in the 8th inning or later, they've blown 28 games this year, which is more than they're winning, which is more than they've won. So they've blown more games than they've actually won. And I mean, it has to do with pitching, but even these star players, they're not having a good season. Like Robert, Eloy, like everybody's kind of letting each other down.
Andrew Benintendi is nowhere to exist. I think he got his first hit in like 12 games yesterday, but pretty miserable there for any of our Sox fans, Sox fans listening. So we tried to help you out at the beginning of the year, and
hey, one step closer to moving to Nashville. One step closer to moving to Nashville.
Did you guys hear the Crochet story where the reason he wasn't traded was because 2 days before he demanded this ridiculous contract, and it got out, and without that getting out, they probably would have got one of the bigger packages for him.
Yeah, and then he said he's like not going to pitch in October.
Exactly.
If I don't get extended, I'm not going to pitch in October. Well, you're not getting traded then, buddy.
Literally, yeah. You're an elite
First
pitcher,
of all,
and
but
you're going to say,
you're telling me if the Dodgers came calling and we're like, hey, buddy, we want you. We're gonna win a World Series ring almost no matter what. We're
sorry, not pitching in October, but I still want that ring.
You're gonna look Shohei dead in the eyes and say, "I'm not playing in October."
We
might not understand what you're saying, but he would right in the eye.
Exactly. I mean, putting the pieces together, I mean, the Yankees would have been the perfect fit for him, and maybe the Yankees, that was why they didn't aggressively go after another pitcher like Flaherty, but. I mean, just a massive miss at the deadline.
I saw Flaherty come out and they said like it's all fake bullshit anyways. It's like the things that like the front office leaked to the media to like save their ass. But like I saw something come out where the Yankees didn't pursue Flaherty because of like a medical history or something in like their I don't know, physicals or whatever form like didn't come up right. I don't know. I think it's all smoke.
Yeah, so we will I still have a couple other things I wanted to talk about before we get into the actual trade deadline stuff. James Wood, bro, for the Nationals. He's their he's their big thing, right? He's their Jackson Holiday. He's supposed to be the guy that's going to turn everything around. A couple games I've been to since he's been up, his body language is unbelievably atrocious. Yeah. This dude
noticed that when
is
I saw
hanging
him
his head every time. He's going back to the dugout and just sitting there, not looking at the iPad, not going to his pitching coach, not going to his manager. Nobody else is coming around in the dugout and saying, hey man, nice swings out there, you got him next there. Hey man, this is what I saw, this is what you can bring up to the plate. His body language is so bad. He walks out to the field, right? I'm not saying he has to have a full sprint on, but maybe the lineman jog would be nice. He maybe gets in a throw or two during the warm-ups. Body language is horrible from James Wood. We need him to step that up.
It's the same thing that I noticed when O'Neal Cruz first came up. I remember I got really nice seats behind home plate when Pittsburgh came in. It was the day game, so you can get pretty cheap seats on like a Wednesday. And I remember like O'Neal Cruz, this was 2 years ago already because he got hurt all last year. But I remember him having really, really bad body language too. Bad at bats, would just kind of give up. James Wood kind of the same way. Could just be a young person thing, need a mentor. You never know.
I think we listened to, I don't know if you guys listened to the Jason Worth on PMT, but I think they're missing that guy in the locker room to kind of pull him aside. Like Worth was talking about kind of maturing Bryce Harper back when it was pretty bad. And like James Wood, he has all the talent in the world, but like who's pulling him aside and being like, cut the shit out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the roster because they just traded everybody too. So I
just traded Lane Thomas, yeah.
Let's see. The oldest starter on their team is 29, almost 30, and that would be Harold Ramirez and or Alex Call. Do you think either one of those are good mentors for James Wood?
Alex Call just got called up like
Yep.
3 days
I'm
ago.
sorry. Elamaro Vargas is the oldest at 33, but he's a nobody.
Well, you could argue Lane Thomas maybe did that a little bit, but then they immediately got rid of him.
Yeah.
Correct.
I don't think he has anybody there. I think Davey Martinez needs to step up and do it, but I don't know if there's a whole lot of good juju going on in that
managers
locker room.
Are one thing, but having like the like guy you can go play cards with or whatever the case is, be that mentor is way more important. And I don't think Joey Gallo's helping him on the IL.
Definitely not, and Joey doesn't care. Other things, obviously.
I want to mention one more thing about the Nationals before we go. I went to the game. Brewers came into town. We're watching warmups. Sign of a bad organization. They beat us 2 games out of 3. I get it, whatever. But sign of a bad organization. During batting practice, while the Nats were taking batting practice, most teams, they have like their pitchers, some of their outfielders out shagging balls, getting fly balls, whatever. The Nationals had 6 coaches with fungo bats who would field the balls and then use the fungo bat to hit it back to the.
To hit it back in. Yeah, I've seen that before.
No position players or pitchers out on the field at all. That's just a sign of a bad organization. Yeah. I don't care what you have to say about it. You're telling me your guys aren't out there like getting their eyes ready. It was game 1 of the series.
Yeah. I've seen the guys out there shagging the balls and then the pitching coaches or whoever hitting the fungos back in. But I've never just seen the guys, guys out there at all.
It was only the fungo kids or fungo coaches. It was crazy.
Interesting. We'll have to keep our eyes on that a little bit. Other things here, Mariners have lost the lead in the AL West. Houston is back on top there. That was pretty much coming. They got week or so ago got swept by the Angels. The Mariners did, like I said, they're not playing amazing baseball right now. They got the Phillies, which is going to be tough. Garrett Cole, because he's a bum, official bum. He says he's fatigued and he can't pitch and blah, blah, blah. Lost one of my starts on fantasy because of it. And he hates me, or he hates the fans. I think it's probably more of a fan thing than a me thing. Says he's tired, fatigued. I'm only 6 starts in, whatever. It's still really early. It's not early, bro. It is August now. It's dog days. It's time to make a playoff push, if any. Red Sox are going to creep up on your ass. If you're not safe, the Rays are going to creep up on your ass.
I love when the Olympics are on because you get, especially now with like, Twitter and all that kind of stuff, because you get so many funny memes. But I saw a bunch of people like tweeting being like, Garrett Cole can't pitch after, 5 days of rest, but this girl fenced in the Olympics and won gold while 7 months pregnant.
Literally, yeah. And, and while, a bunch of those fencers I saw, a bunch of them are school teachers too.
Yeah, fencing is a badass sport to watch. I got really invested in it. USA won gold again today, by the way.
Yep, I saw that.
It was fantastic.
So shout out Peacock, where you can get all your Olympic needs. Other things, we talked about the White Sox stuff there. There's a bunch of people freaking out on Twitter saying that Javi Baez is off of the Tigers. It's official. He's not off of the Tigers. He's on a leave right now for a family emergency. So I wanted to address that. A bunch of people are freaking out about that. I think. Did
you see the video of his strikeout when the catcher literally set up in the other team's other side of the batter's box?
Well, even the announcer was just like, "Look at this setup," and it's atrocious. I think that more teams should be doing player-related food items. At their stadiums. I was watching the Royals game and they have this, like, they call it the Pass Squatch or the Pass Quintino. It's the Italian beef sandwich in Kansas City now. I want more. The Royals used to have a Salvi Splash. It was just like a large Coke or a large soda in a special Salvi cup. But they should be doing more player-related food items. I think that'd be fun. I think they would sell a lot. I want to see more of that stuff.
I remember a lot of team beers or team player beers. Like they're just coming out with the Blake Perkin Pilsner.
Oh, sure.
Which is kind of cool.
Right. Yeah. See, I remember at least in the NFL, the Steelers did a big thing for their players, like the Roethlisberger. And then since the players can market themselves, they had to pay him, and that all went away. So I wonder if that's a big hiccup in the Major League Baseball of a player's going to want a ton of money to license the name. But that's a good player association meeting for sure.
Yeah, our buddy, I think we talked about this on the podcast before. My buddy John Gibson had a really good idea when Andrew Benintendi was on the Royals. The Andrew Benintendi chicken tendy baskets. A little play on the name there. So I think there could be more there.
Tendy for Ben Tendy.
Exactly. I think that would be a ton of fun. It's a Kenta Mieda that pitches for the Mets. He pitched like 5 1/3 innings and hurts himself on his first start, and he's done for the rest of the year. He had a really good outing too, and hurts himself like trying to catch a fly ball on the mound when he should have been, running away from it. But hurts himself there. Trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to address here before we jump into the.
Oh, Austin Hedges taking one in the face and still staying in the game.
Literally, yeah, that was nuts. I wanted to give Josh the opportunity for a Pirates update. Is there any Pirates updates that you'd like to discuss at this point, Mr. Higgins?
I mean, we're heading into a huge weekend. So we have Arizona coming into town. Arizona currently holds that last wild card spot. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of our big gut check. We have to at least take 2 out of 3, or else we could see this wild card race get out of hand.
2 games back.
2 games, 2.5 back currently. And I mean, something to talk about. O'Neal Cruz, man, he cannot field the ball to save his life.
No, he should be a third baseman at worst.
5 errors in one series against the Astros in a 3-game series, and then 3 errors in one single game. He's trying. It's just when he tries harder, it just doesn't match. And then the big thing that everybody's talking about, I mean, it looks like Skeens is going to be shut down in September. So even though we want to make the World Series, even though we want to make the playoffs, with that hard cutoff in September, it's still going to be tough. So it looks like we're gearing up for 2025. That's kind of what all the moves at the deadline meant, just because they're under contract for a couple years. But you never know. I think, if they win this weekend series, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Paul Skeens' innings are pretty high right now for, I guess, what I was expecting. I mean, obviously he pitches really well, so he goes deep in the ball game, but I think he's already at like 150 innings on the year, which is kind of crazy.
Well, I didn't realize Strasburg, this exact same thing happened where they pitched him a lot, but then they shut him down in a playoff run. And
does that make you nervous?
I would rather Skeens is probably the best pitcher we're ever going to see put on a Pirate uniform. So I care more about him in the future. So if we have to pull him, I'll enjoy 3 World Series starting next year. I won't be
fair
upset.
Enough. Yeah. You won't be greedy or nothing. I get you. No. Sure. By the way, a little stat correction. He's got 107 innings on the year, but I heard 150 cap. Sorry, got my numbers mixed up.
Which would, that would bring it right up to September. I wanted to discuss, I don't think I can handle another Yankees Red Sox Sunday Night Baseball because they interview all the same people.
Oh,
it's always just, look at the majesty of Yankee Stadium, look at the majesty of Fenway. Yeah, they're really cool places, but they talk about the same thing every single time on the Sunday night broadcast. So pretty annoying. Correct. I don't think there's going to be any more. They should be gearing up for Little League World Series game that they do. So I'm thankful for that. Really, at this time, I want to get into the big moves that were made.
Yeah, let's do
it. This last Wednesday. That was Wednesday that happened.
Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Tuesday at 6 p.m. Okay. I'll just kind of roll through the list, and if you guys want to chime in with your thoughts, we can do that. Like I said, the ones I wrote down are the big ones to me. Danny Jansen going to the Red Sox, going to Boston from Toronto. Connor Wong has been good for the Red Sox, but Reese McGuire, they just DFA'd him, I think. So he's gonna really help the Red Sox from the catching department. Jesse Winker goes to the Mets, obviously former National. He's been a complete bum this year in DC. So at least we'll be on a winning team there in the NL Beast. Carlos Estevez, the closer for the Angels, goes to the Phillies. The Phillies, they had traded Sir Anthony Dominguez to the Orioles, so needed another arm out of that bullpen. That's been so I think that's a pretty good move. the other guy from the Angels that didn't go that we thought was going to is going to be Taylor Ward, but
Right.
Estevez is the big name to come out of there. He's been, when they do have a save opportunity in Anaheim, he's been locked down, and he's a really fun pitcher to watch too. Big guy. The Isaac Paredes, not a 1-for-1 trade, but realistically a 1-for-1 trade with Christopher Morel with the Cubs coming.
Correct. And I saw what Morel homered in like his first game or whatever, and
Yeah, exactly.
Paredes hit a ball like either down the line or whatever. I don't know if it was an out or a double, but it would have been a home run in Tropicana Field.
No, it was it was yesterday. Doubles to deep left field. I saw it come up on my feed. But yeah, so that's Isaac Paredes is going to crush it. Going to crush it in Wrigley.
I have seen Isaac Paredes take batting practice. It's the most impressive batting practice I've ever seen. His raw power is absolutely incredible. Obviously, it's not at the same level as somebody like O'Neal Cruz or Ellie De La Cruz, who's got so much more whip to their bat, being 6'7". But his hitting is insane. Just a matter of putting it all together, which I think he will. I think he'll do well in Chicago.
When the Rays came to town, I mean, when he hits it, it's just a different sound off the bat. And I mean, it's just explosive. So that's definitely a huge get for the Cubs.
We got Tommy Pham going to the Cardinals. Tommy Edman going to the Dodgers. Tommy Pham hit a home run. He goes back to the Cardinals. He was with them previously. Hit a home run in his first or second game there. Another guy going to the Cardinals, Eric Fetty from the White Sox. He was the guy that everyone thought was gonna go. As well as Crochet, but Fetty is the one. He's been killing it this year. Had a good start and has been doing really well. Former national as well.
Former Japanese pitcher as well, or yes. KBO. Was he NPB or was he KBO?
I think it was KBO.
Maybe it was KBO as well. Maybe that's where he learned a splitter.
It could be. He doesn't have a whole lot of velocity on his fastball, but his changeup is amazing, and that splitter is really good too. He's really fun to watch. Also on my fantasy team. Justin Turner, the old man, going to the Pacific Northwest, going to the Mariners. We mentioned this before. Lane Thomas going to the best team in baseball right now, going to the Guardians from out here in DC. Dude crushes the ball. He's going to fit right in. And they need another right-handed bat as well in Cleveland. He's going to fit right in. Who else do we have here? Josh Bell got DFA'd and then got picked up by the D-backs. A little bit of it. Maybe he's been on a kind of a downside since going to the Marlins. But again, the D-backs got really, really hot and cold. But I think he can bring. They have a ton of speed and they have a ton of good contact hitters. But when Eugenio Suarez isn't on, or Alek Thomas isn't on,
someone made the joke they got him just for the weekend series. He is a Pirate killer. So if you want an easy bet, you should bet on at least 2 home runs will be hit by Josh Bell this weekend.
There you go.
Dude, he was so hot with I think he hit a ball on. I was there because they were in town. This past weekend, he hit a home run on, I think it was Friday night, where he literally just he didn't even fully swing that hard, and he's got so much length to it, and it just shot out to left. I was like, holy, it was insane. It was a guy that I wish the Brewers would have targeted, but obviously we didn't.
Other ones here, Alex Cobb also going to the Guardians. That is only going to help them. They are formidable. They're just it's a quiet fucking team, man. Both the Naylor boys are just monsters. Obviously, Ramirez is having another good year. Alex Cobb is absolutely going to help with that rotation as well. It's going to be fun to watch. Paul DeJong, also known as Paul DeYoung, going to the Royals. And so that means Nick Lofton is probably going to get sent back down to the minors. They also sent back down Alec Marsh, who's been having a 70% year, a B- C+ year, but he's going to Kansas City. Paul DeYoung from the White Sox. And
so Paul DeYoung is now going to start over Bobby Witt, right? That's pretty much the reason for the sign.
They'll put him in second base. They'll basically put him and Michael Massey probably at this point 50-50, see who can really win the job. Couple big trades for the Dodgers, obviously Jack Flaherty and Kevin Kiermaier. Jack Flaherty from his days back in St. Louis, the big resurgence of Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, he's come back in a big way.
Having a great year. Obviously, they sent down Bobby Miller, right? He's just been getting obliterated out in LA.
Yep.
So he's going to fill that position really well, and should give him a bunch of really good innings. And Clayton Kershaw got fucking destroyed last night, and it was really sad to watch. But he should be able to fill a bunch of innings in place of those guys.
It ended his streak of straight games with a strikeout. I think he held an MLB record for most games with a single strikeout recorded, and it ended last night.
Wow. Yeah, he got absolutely pegged. He got destroyed. I think it was like 7 runs or something like that over just a couple innings. He really stunk it up. Kevin Kiermaier, even though he's retiring, allegedly to the Dodgers as well. They got a bunch of really young guys in the outfield. So he'll be able to help them in the outfield as well.
Yeah, that showy deferred money is really showing its head around the trade deadline.
Mark Canha from Detroit going to the Giants.
He gets moved every year. I don't know what. He's gotten moved, I think, like 3 times in 365 days.
Yeah,
it's insane.
For the Giants, they moved Jorge Soler, 2021 World Series MVP, to the Braves because they can't seem to hit home runs in Atlanta and can't seem to do anything in Atlanta with Matt Olson and Austin Riley not knowing what's going on, and obviously Acuna out. And the big one that everyone is talking about is Jazz Chisholm going to the New York Yankees. Had been having I would say an average year down in Miami, and decides to come up to New York, and with all his flair and all his flash, and his non-matching glove and non-matching belt, and decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to leave my bats down in Miami, and I'm just going to use Aaron Judge's bat for the next couple of days and see how it happens while my bats are getting shipped up here. And he's been doing nothing but absolutely killing the ball.
So corked bats.
They're corked bats. Allegedly corked bats.
Yeah.
The first home run he hit where he got the end of the bat on it with a half a swing and it went out of the ballpark. I think that's where Aaron Judge's bats may be magical.
Yeah, like at Citizens Bank Park too, like not a small stadium. Literally hit.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say hits it right off literally off like kind of the screws, and it just kind of stays up in the air. It wasn't a windy night. I had no idea how that ball. I literally sent it to Josh. I was like, I have no idea how this ball got out. This doesn't make any sense. Right. I thought it was one of those. I thought it was like one of those like meme videos where it was, the guy barely touches it and it just, the guy bunts and it's like, oh, hold on. I thought it was one of those videos, but then it was like, no, this is absolutely real. I have no idea. I mean, he's sticking with Aaron Judge's bats until they cool down.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick, we have breaking news coming from the Angels. Mike Trout out for the season with another meniscus tear.
Of course.
Oh my God.
A meniscus tear. We're looking at halfway into next season if he comes back at all next season.
This dude has glass.
The greatest player who will never be able to play.
That's so sad because I was literally talking to my buddy Jack the other day. I was like, dude, because the Angels are coming here in 2 weeks. I was like, dude, what? Maybe Trout will figure it out, or maybe he'll be rehabbing because he's been rehabbing. Okay, that's not going to happen now. That's really sad. Damn.
I think for Mike Trout, the question is, with him getting injured as much as he is, can he buy out of his contract? Because he clearly does not want to be in Anaheim.
Yeah.
If he does come back, can he finally go to Philadelphia? I mean, that's where his heart is. It's where everybody wants to see him.
I think I know the issue. Mike Trout needs to start drinking more beers, put on a little weight. I think he's a little too muscular. If you don't have muscles, you can't pull them, and that's all I have to say about that.
That's a good piece of insight there from a guy with some muscles over there.
Sure.
That's interesting. That's funny. Our guys in our fantasy chat are just freaking out over that news now. So, that is. Thank you, Josh, for that update. I guess not. Thank you, but the heads up there.
Wait, is Castellanos playing today? Is he playing currently? Can we place a live home run bet on it?
Okay, actually, this is it. This is good. This is
That's
good.
a
We are
good
telling
point. That's a
everybody.
really good point. I don't know if the Phillies are playing today. Hold on, let's take it. If he's
Stand.
not playing, you can't bet it for tomorrow. It won't count. They are not playing
They are
today.
not playing
They're
today.
not playing today. Dang.
Interesting.
Now, it's not world breaking news. It's not world breaking
No,
news.
you're right. You're right.
But
It's world shattering in Orange County. That's for sure.
yeah, true.
World
Can
shattering.
I go back to the Yankees just for a little bit about
Please.
Jazz? Is Jazz enough of a character to rebrand the Yankees as a whole? Will they become the New York, I don't know,
Watch your words
cultured,
here.
the cultured team now instead of the shave your head, trim your mustache? Will they fully embrace the chains, the baggy clothes, and go the bad boys of New York?
The bad boys, the bad bombers, right? I don't know. I Judge has got a little bit of drip, so does Verdugo. Gleyber Torres has the complete opposite of it. I think Anthony Volpe is way too white for it. We'll see. I literally there was a post of like, him hitting that home run, and he like grabbed his nuts after he hit that home.
Immediately.
That home run was also off a position player that he did that.
Correct.
And which is really stupid. But yeah,
honestly respect it.
that was like,
like,
dude,
I
like this dude's a position player.
It.
Why you Baker Mayfielding this guy?
Hey, to be fair, position players have a better ERA
right.
against the league than I think like all of the pitchers in baseball.
Right.
So,
but yeah, we'll see. It's been fun watching Jazz. He's been really just absolutely crushing it, getting some plays at third. Gleyber Torres isn't too happy about it.
He's just a great utility player.
Yeah.
I mean, he can play every position. So it's huge pickup.
If I had a bet, I'd say Yankees. Yankees are my pick for World Series champs for the year.
Yeah, it was really funny when
I don't know what the live odds are, but that's what I would pick.
When Aaron Boone, this I guess was on Sunday, his first game, and Buster Olney is interviewing Aaron Boone and talking about Jazz Chisholm, and you can tell Aaron Boone has just no idea who he is, like off the field. They say, hey, like what's expecting him to be a glue guy in the dugout, in the locker room, in the clubhouse. There is just if he has a good relationship with these players, like don't really know a whole lot with through him in center field tonight. See how he does. And it was an interesting interview with Aaron Boone. Other things, obviously Randy Arozarena goes to the Mariners. He's already been killing it there.
Yep.
Wasn't doing amazing for them. Yeah, wasn't doing amazing down in Tampa. Randy Land is officially dead at the Trop.
Hey, remember how hard it is to hit in Tampa Bay. You get any of these position guys that are leaving Tampa, I think they're all going to have better years.
Yeah. So, the thing was, Tommy Pham, Jazz Chisholm, Miranda Arozarena, Christopher Morel, all homer with their new team on Wednesday on the trade deadline day, which is pretty impressive. That was really my big. Michael Lorenzen goes to the Royals too. Michael Kopech to the Dodgers. Another good arm there. Those are really my big ones that I had. Is there any other ones that stuck out to you guys at this time?
No, I think you hit. We can talk about those that weren't traded if you want. Brent Rooker from
that was
the Athletics.
Surprising.
The Athletics deciding that they want talent on their team all of a sudden, which
Mason Miller got hurt.
Like which is fine. I mean, they'll be able to trade him anytime that they want to, so that's not a big deal. But like Rooker, do you really think he's going to be like a top 10 hitter for the next, I don't know, 5 years? I would doubt it, but you never know. And if he's hot, you'd think a team would overpay for him. I mean, there wasn't any like big bats on the market in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, some guys got moved, but it wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't like a Soto trade or anything. I thought it was odd.
Big one for me, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. not getting traded. It's almost, this means they have to try to sign him to a long-term deal. And the Blue Jays aren't that type of team, but if they let him walk after this season or next season, this was a huge missed opportunity because they could have gotten, he's batting over 300. They could have gotten a bag for him.
Definitely.
Remember, and everybody thought that he was awful and should have been cut essentially.
Yeah,
idiots.
He lost all that weight.
Yeah,
this offseason is probably the most transformative I've ever seen a player get.
And he cut his hair too.
Yeah.
Guy that I wanted to make sure I mentioned on this podcast with an incredible July, Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah.
Average up to 349 as of today. They have a pretty big series with Detroit this weekend, starting tonight, leading all Major League Baseball in average right now. Like 20 points over Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan's really cooled off. Had a huge
Yeah,
June,
he really.
obviously.
As soon as we started giving him praise for All-Star votes,
Exactly.
he was
Went
awful.
to his
So
went to his
sorry,
head.
sorry, Stephen Kwan.
Yeah, went to his head. Bobby Witt Jr. had a hit in every single day except for July 13th.
Was it a Friday?
Hold on, stand by. We'll look into that. I don't believe so. I don't, because I feel like people would have talked about that. It was a Saturday.
Oh, one day off.
So, yep. But yeah, it's the only day he didn't get a hit in the month of July, hitting 489, fifth best month ever in Major League Baseball history, behind Pudge Rodriguez, George Brett. So yeah, Alex, I did want to discuss Christian Yelich. What do you know about Christian Yelich?
I think his pain tolerance is pretty low, and I think it's also something with his spine, and you kind of fucked if it's like a spine thing. They at this point are not doing surgery, although I think he probably needs it. And at the same time, if he has that surgery, there's no guaranteeing that he'll ever be able to move the same way. So it's a tough spot.
They haven't announced an official out for the season, right? Just 10
No,
day IL.
he's just on the 15 day IL. I could see him. The hard part is like the longer he sits out, the less like MLB at bats that he's gonna get. And like he came back from it once with very little like MLB at bats, but like Rhys Hoskins is just starting to get back to like his normal self, and it's taking him half a season. You know what I mean? So it's tough.
Has Yelich been playing DH most of the season?
He played actually a lot of left field, surprisingly. I mean, he'll DH as well, but when Gary Sanchez was still here, obviously you got Hoskins, and then you'll need to give Contreras a day off every once in a while from behind the plate. He was playing a lot of left field and playing it well, surprisingly. Remember, he won a Gold Glove in Miami.
He did. Other things here. Nestor Cortez Jr. has he pitched really well last night, but I think he may have lost it. I think he's just been getting crushed this year. He's like 4-10 or something like that, maybe 5-10 now. He keeps trying to do his little wiggle shake move, and he does the wiggle shake move and then throws an 89-mile-an-hour fastball on the outside corner, and dudes are just absolutely crushing him. I think he pitched a little bit better yesterday against a really hot Phillies team. So you're welcome, Nestor fans. You're welcome, Nestor Cortez. This is the bump we are giving you.
Yeah, good point. I just said you're going to win the World Series. Nestor Cortez, we're giving the bump that he sucks. So it's just going to even out. So
you're welcome as of right now. Again, I am going to the games this weekend, and we'll be posting some photos from there. Yes, so I'm not participating. No, Saturday is Harry Potter night.
Oh, you're dressing up.
No, there's Harry Potter night. And so, yeah,
Nate, what house are you? Let's do some breaking news.
This is it's no question what house I'm in.
It's that one.
It's Slytherin. I took the Pottermore quiz.
Of course you did, but you're not going to participate in giveaway day.
No, I'm not. Actually, I'm not even kidding. In an interview one time with the federal government, they asked me what house I was in Harry Potter. I'm not even kidding.
And
shows character traits.
What was so you gave the response?
Yeah, I gave my accurate response.
How did they feel about that?
The main gal who was interviewing me said that her sister was in Slytherin, and that her sister, was a genuine person, a determined, type of person, and so she said, I respect that. I think that's a good quality to have.
Wild. So, I wonder, you could make that up for just about any of them.
Well, I was going to say, what house would have not gotten you into for the job?
Hufflepuff. That's the worst one.
Yeah, 100%.
Although, what's his face? Cedric Diggory, he was a dog. He stole Harry's girlfriend. So
I would judge people.
But he died.
He died. Spoiler.
Spoiler.
Can't win if you're dead.
All right, I just found the Kershaw stat. So Kershaw pitched 423 regular season starts with at least getting one strikeout. set the all-time record over over Nolan Ryan at 382 and Tom Seaver at 389.
Wow.
And yeah, he lost it last night. So, I mean, hell of a run, but we'll probably never see that again.
Literally never see that again. What house are you in, Josh?
Slytherin. I took the Pottermore test. Yeah.
You're full of shit. Alex?
I have no idea. I'm dead honest. I have no idea.
Not a big reader.
No. Okay, there's a difference between reading and going on a website and trying to figure it out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So if you know what, I'll take it live on the podcast next time, and we can really get to the bottom of this.
Well, the giveaway is they're giving away like Nats like jersey T-shirts with the houses, right? But the problem is that they're random. So there's going to be a bunch of people that are there being like, I got Slytherin, I want Gryffindor. And they'll be bitching and moaning. And so I'm just going to say, no, thank you, sir. I don't want that. And scurry my way.
But Nate, if you truly believe that you're a Slytherin, shouldn't you put the fate to the test? If you get a Slytherin jersey, I mean, it's official.
Well, sorry, I guess you can see what colors they're handing you. Right? So I think there's going to be obviously just like a bunch of tables with them. And I think you just like walk up to whatever one you want. Right. But then the Gryffindor ones are all going to get taken first. Right. And so, yeah. But my dad, it was really funny. He was just like, I hope there's not a bunch of grown adults running around in capes and casting spells on each other. I'm like, nobody goes to the games in DC anyways.
Yeah, good point. Actually, no, so 100% because this is the only time that they're going to show up.
Exactly. All the cosplay people are going to show up. But there's a chance of rain on Saturday, or not the best weather, so maybe they'll stay home. But so we'll see. But yeah, that's the giveaway. And then Sunday is nothing. Unfortunately Friday we're not going to, but it's Pups in the Park. The Royals do a similar thing, Bark in the Park, where you can bring
we have one of those as well.
Josh, have you brought your Doge to a game?
So we only have one section that does it, and as soon as tickets are announced, it sells out for the whole season. So I can get tickets for next season already, but honestly, he's fine watching it from here. He can still.
What do you do with the poop?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. What do you do with the shit?
I don't
just like peanuts. Leave it there.
I love my dog, but I also don't love other people's dogs. So I think that's where the issue would be.
My favorite is the people that give their dogs a full hot dog. And it's the best.
Just the best meat you can give them. Brewers are having Harry Doyle a euchre.
I know. I texted you about this
in a couple weeks. I will be there. I will get one. I'm very excited. Also having a replica William Contreras City Connect jersey giveaway on August 13th. Also very cool. Always nice when they do like a full jersey. I know they're not always the best quality, but always nice to have.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be a ton of fun. Josh, are you going to any games in the next couple of days?
I have tickets for tomorrow night, so I'm gonna go there, and then there's some good teams coming, so I'm gonna go to the Seattle series, and then in September, I mean, we have the Nationals coming, the Royals coming, and so very excited for the future schedule. But honestly, this weekend's going to determine how busy the park's going to be. If they sweep them, tickets are going to be expensive. If they lose, we're going to be able to get very close to the field for $25.
Yeah, I'll be coming up there in September for that Royals series. We just figured out that the Royals are playing up there, so we'll be coming up there again. I should get to Baltimore at the middle of August, end of August, or in September for one more game up there.
I'd like to say I'm excited to see Bobby Witt Jr., but that's just if Josh DeYoung doesn't steal his job. So
true.
It's a big if.
His name is Paul DeYoung, but yeah.
I mixed the Texas guy.
Right. But yeah, we'll see. He's never down. He's never out from a little competition there. But yeah, I'm really excited for the Royals. A little push here, so they're not gonna win the division, but I definitely think that they'll be in that wild card there. Our quality on our podcast here should be a little bit better. I got a new computer here, so we should have a little bit. I'm going to be working with a new program here, so it might take me a little bit to edit and stuff like that. But again, we're always on Spotify. We always are on YouTube. I might be able to upload an actual photo or a video on YouTube instead of just the black screen. So stand by there. And I'm posting it on Facebook as well. Again, follow us on Twitter. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. And that is everything I got. Unless you guys got anything else.
Nada.
Perfect. We will see everybody. We'll see everybody next time. And thanks for listening. Standing right here, your ghost and I'm no sign.